Hello and welcome to another edition of HG Tundra Talk. I am Brandon Rooker along with my colleague Mr. Aaron Wagner. As you can see, we both are donning the Packer jerseys today. I'm wearing Clay, he's wearing Mr. Greg Jennings. And Aaron, there can only be one reason why we're donning the Packer jerseys today. What would that reason be? What are we here to cover, Aaron?
I don't know. This little thing called the draft, baby.
Yeah! I've been waiting
You
for that for
betcha.
about a year. Yeah.
Betcha.
Okay, but anyway, so we're going to cover the first round in this video. Some of the picks we're just going to run over. Others we'll talk about a little bit. They surprised us. But we're going to get started. We're going to read the 1 through 5 picks first. The Colts, shocker. Just, spoiler warning for you.
Okay.
Took Andrew Luck.
I know.
He's a quarterback out of Stanford. I heard he had like a 7th round rating. That they maybe shouldn't have taken him. It's a bit of a
Bust.
reach.
Yeah. Be a bust.
Obviously,
Same with the
we're
next
just
guy.
crapping it because he's been honestly, he's been ranked as probably the best quarterback since Peyton Manning to come out. And then Robert Griffin III went to the Washington Redskins. He's pretty good, supposedly. Heisman Trophy winner. So those two were pretty much done before the draft even started. We have Trent Richardson going to Cleveland. Interesting. Cleveland had the 4th pick. They traded up to get the 3 pick from the Vikings.
Smart.
Now, it is smart. At first I was looking at it and I'm thinking this is stupid. However, it was more, in my opinion, of a trade block trade.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the Vikings would not have taken Richardson. However, it would have been very easy to see somebody jump up there and take him in front of him. So they wanted to get rid of that. So the Browns got Richardson. Do you have something to say about Richardson?
Yeah. The trade was I think they swapped picks and then Cleveland included a 4th, 5th, and 7th.
Yep.
And just look at the trade chart. Something to look at. That 3rd pick is valued at $2,200. The 4th pick's at $1,800. So that's the difference of $400. And that 4th round pick that they gave up is $100. The 5th round pick is $40, and the 7th round pick is $13.
Mhm.
So realistically, you're looking at that.
Yeah, good trade.
It equals out. It's not as
Yeah.
bad as
No. And they got their guy.
They got their guy. That's the most
They
important
think
part,
he can be the Adrian Peterson type, Steven Jackson type. Like that elite running back. That's what the book is on him right now. Is that true? Time will tell. But it is what it is. So moving on, the Minnesota Vikings, who personally I think have had one of the best drafts, period, so far, took Matt Khalil, who is a tackle from USC. He's going to be doing some major work blocking Clay Matthews and the Green Bay's first-round pick, who we'll get to later. But he's going to have his hands pretty full trying to protect Christian Ponder over there in Minnesota. And the Jaguars, moving up to the 5th pick, trading with the Buccaneers, took Justin Blackman, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. Aaron, as we conclude the top 5, do you have any specific thoughts that you'd like to share?
specific thoughts for here. Not really. Tampa Bay. The only thing is, I know they traded Jacksonville. It showed me that they really did not like Morris Claiborne because I thought that was a player they were waiting for, and they traded back 2 spots. Maybe they thought he would still be there, but Dallas jumped in there eventually. But I think they just weren't sold on him eventually, and that was the only surprise really. Blackman was definitely the top 6 pick, I think.
What's interesting about Claiborne, this is unofficial, what I'm about to say, it's unofficial, but I was doing some research today, and Bleacher Report, which is a website that Aaron and I get some of our information out of, not a big one.
I'm not a big fan of Bleacher Report, unfortunately.
But they did report that Morris Claiborne scored a 4 on his Wonderlic test, which unofficial, so it's not guaranteed. But the average is, what would you say, 20 here?
Yeah.
About 20? It's not a very good score. It depends how much you read into those. I know Ted Thompson is a somewhat strong believer of the Wonderlic tests.
Yeah.
Not to the point where he would not draft a guy if he didn't get above a certain point, but he does take it into account. And maybe that is one reason why Claiborne got looked over, but you never know. The Wonderlic is something that's kind of a make or break for some teams. But anyway, so Morris Claiborne goes to the Cowboys with the 6th pick, and that's a pick that the Redskins and the Rams gave up for the Cowboys to have. So Claiborne goes there. The Buccaneers were 7th in the draft. They traded with the Jaguars for that pick, and they took Mark Barron, who's the safety from Alabama. The Dolphins, semi-surprisingly, semi-not surprisingly, I guess, took Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback from Texas A&M. The Panthers took Luke Kuechly. Did I pronounce it right here?
Yep.
All right. Linebacker out of Boston College. Interesting note, highest linebacker from Boston College has ever been drafted. That 9th pick. Also, interesting note, Green Bay took Boston College player at the 9 pick in the 2009 draft. You might recognize him from his interesting dance moves that he displayed in Chicago a couple years ago. That, of course, would be my birthday mate, B.J. Raji, July 11th, representing. Anyway, the Bills at number 10 took Stephon Gilmore, the cornerback from South Carolina. So, Aaron, we just went 6 through 10. Anything surprise you there?
No, nothing surprised me.
No.
Tampa Bay, they, Mark Barron must have been their guy. They realized, he wouldn't fall, any far past that they could trade back and get him. So they still had 7 after trading back, took them. Panthers, Kuechly, it's a solid player, good football player. I think they needed more help on the defensive line or
You think
corner.
he's a safe pick?
He's
One of those
safe-
guys that
he's
has
a
a very
safe
low
pick.
bust rate,
Yeah.
but not maybe the ceiling you
Right,
think.
yeah. I mean, personally, you're in the division with Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Josh Freeman's pretty solid too. I think you should have. I would have gone corner, just my opinion. But they went inside linebacker, so yeah, that's the only thing I can really complain about, to be honest with you.
Alright.
So
Justified. All right, the Chiefs pick 11th. They take Dontari Poe, who is a defensive tackle out of Memphis, the guy that had a fantastic combine, ran a sub 540 at 346 pounds, pretty good. Eagles on the 12th pick traded up with the Seahawks to get Fletcher Cox, who is a defensive tackle from Mississippi State. The Cardinals at 13 took Michael Floyd, the wide receiver out of Notre Dame. This one's interesting because I've heard that Larry Fitzgerald had a lot of say in this pick. And you know what? I think it might be a good one because you have a very talented wide receiver here. But anyway, moving on. The Rams, with the trade of the Cowboys, took Michael Brockers, who's a defensive tackle from LSU, 6'5", 322. 15th pick, the Seattle Seahawks made what probably could be considered the most surprising pick in the draft. They took Bruce Irvin.
I think he was surprised as all heck too.
I think so too. I mean, this is a guy that, as a pass rusher, gets a very good grade. Not so much for the rest of what it takes to be a linebacker in the NFL, and he probably will be a linebacker, I'd imagine, at 245. And he has a little bit of character issues, which I don't feel is a big thing because it was a long time ago and he seems to have straightened his life out. But anyway, there's a couple of red flags there. But the Seahawks apparently decided he was worth the pick at 15, so we'll see what happens. Bruce Irvin goes to Seattle. Aaron, we just read 11 through 15. Any specific comments you'd like to make?
Great pick by Arizona. Him Fitzgerald gets pressure off him. Yeah, Bruce Irvin going 15. I think that's higher than everyone, including him. I think everyone but the Seahawks thought that was high.
Yeah.
I had heard that day that some teams had told Bruce Irvin that one or two teams in the later third of the first round said, if you're there,
we'll
take you.
And maybe that's what they
But
like.
but at the same time too, at 15 though,
It's a little
I don't know.
Yeah. A little bit of a.
But they did their homework, and we'll find out. But I probably would have went a little different. Direction there.
Agreed. We're gonna just kind of read off a couple of these because we want to talk about Green Bay in a little bit. But the Jets take Quentin Cobles, the defensive end from North Carolina, 16th. Dre Kirkpatrick goes to the Bengals with the 17th pick. He's a corner out of Alabama, who's 6'1", 186. Chargers with the 18th pick took Melvin Ingram, defensive end from South Carolina. The Bears at 19 took a guy that Green Bay may or may not have been interested in, Shea McClellan, the Boise State defensive end who will probably convert to linebacker. But I guess Chicago plays a 4-3, so he potentially could maybe stay at end. I don't know. Anyway.
Probably outside linebacker.
Probably an outside linebacker, yeah. Definitely would have been in Green Bay with their 3-4, but who knows. The Titans at 20 took Kendall Wright, the wide receiver out of Baylor, RG3's weapon. The Patriots take Chandler Jones with the 21st pick. He's a defensive end out of Syracuse. The Browns take Brandon Weeden, the 29-year-old quarterback out of Oklahoma State. Interesting pick right there, which maybe, Aaron, do you have anything you want to say on that one? Or good pick, bad pick?
I don't know.
His future is
it's
over with the Browns anyway.
The Browns are hard to judge. Yeah, he might have been there in the second round. Maybe not. Yeah.
You like the pick or not?
Yeah.
55%, yes.
I mean, I don't know how close they are to competing. If there's more players around him, But I guess.
Is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
that's what I feel about it.
Yeah. Riley Reef goes to the Lions at number 23. He is the Iowa tackle. The Steelers take David DeCastro, the guard from Stanford, at 24. The Patriots, had a busy first round, by the way, take Dante Hightower, the linebacker out of Alabama. Whitney Mercilus goes 26 to the Texans. He's a defensive end out of Illinois. The Badgers own Kevin Zeitler. Went 27 to the Bengals. The Green Bay Packers take Nick Perry, the defensive end who will be an outside linebacker out of USC. They take him 28th. We'll revisit that one in a second, but I just want to finish off the first round here. We have the Vikings taking Harrison Smith at 29, the safety from Notre Dame. The Niners take A.J. Jenkins, the wide receiver from Illinois, with the 30th pick. The Buccaneers, who got the 31st pick through a couple of trades, take Doug Martin, the running back from Boise State. And then the Giants take David Wilson, the running back from Virginia Tech, with the 32nd pick. So, Aaron, we read off that Nick Perry is now a Green Bay Packer. Mm-hmm. You and I have slightly varying opinions on this pick. But why don't you tell me a little bit about Nick Perry and what you like about him for Green Bay?
Okay, before I get in, I'm just going to give 10 seconds here. The Steelers, the rich get richer. David DeCastro fell to them. No way they thought that was happening. It's going to help their offensive line. Big Ben will be protected more. But back to your question, Nick Perry. A month ago we were talking, possible pick, and he slid a little bit. The question, we talked about this before. He said, in pre-draft visits, he sees himself as more as a defensive end, hand in the ground, more of a 4-3 defensive end. But at the end of the day, whoever takes you, you're going to play. You're going to do what they ask you. He's, he plays at, 270?
271.
270. He's really fast, 4.5, 40, I believe. Just pass rusher. And I think, Green Bay, let's be realistic here. They were 15-1 last year. They lost one game. They had no pass rush. I think anyone is better than what they had. I think Nick Perry's going to come in and, he's going to learn a lot from Kevin Green. He'll help him out. And he's just going to go after the quarterback, basically. That's how I feel. Yeah, Upshaw was available. Probably would have been better immediately. I don't know who has more upside there. But yeah, at the end of the day, I like the Perry pick. If they would have taken offensive lineman, we really would have been pouting here, to be honest with you. So we got to be happy that at least, they went that route. What do you think?
Well, okay. I want to say, first of all, I really like Nick Perry. I think he's a very talented player. The only thing that I'm worried about is that we picked a bad guy for our system. And the reason I say that is because if he feels more comfortable with his hand in the dirt, maybe I'm reading too much into that comment, but there has to be a reason he said it. If it's just pure preference, that's fine. That's not an issue.
I think so.
But if he knows something we don't, as in, he doesn't feel like he can play that spot, then we have a guy who is basically just a pass rusher, which might be okay for now, but he's not a guy that's going to be a plug in there. Also, he's a little bit light to play defensive end in our system. So, I don't know. I like Nick Perry. I really do. I think he comes off as a real genuine guy. He's built like a statue, like a Greek statue. And he's a guy that seems relatively smart, seems very, very talented, very athletic. I'm just a little slightly worried that we picked a 4-3 defensive end when we needed an outside linebacker in the 3-4.
I'm just going to make a couple points here. With that comment he made about playing 4-3 defensive end, you got to look at it from the point he was looking at too. He was very successful playing with his hand in the ground. And he didn't play standing up. Yes, he dropped into coverage a little bit. But if you're good at that, you'd be a little hesitant on changing it at the same time too. Yeah. Something he'll learn. Another thing too is when the Packers go into their nickel package, and they have you saw Clay kind of put his hand down, closer to the line. I think Nick Perry's going to be absolutely great there. So you could have him, Raji, Pickett, and Clay. So it's kind of two. Yeah, it's more like a four down lineman that way. But yeah, that's another thing he brings to the table for you.
And what's interesting, too, is, let's say a year or two from now he's not working out as a linebacker and you're looking at him as potentially being a bust, then maybe you do try to put him in a weight program where he gains 15, 20 pounds and see if he plays end,
Exactly.
So he has options there. But, as far as the combine goes with his agility tests and whatnot, he looks fantastic. Yeah. You're looking at a guy that it's, other than that comment, there might not be anything that you look at and say, So, I guess I'm willing to live with the pick, and he looks like a stellar guy. I have a few of my own issues, but overall, I'm okay with the pick. I'm not necessarily happy with the pick, but I'm adequately,
Yeah, you look at too. is one of the most players that are the most upside in this draft, along with Whitney Merciless. Scouts had said if he would have came out next year, definite top 10 pick.
Yeah, which is always a good thing to hear.
So his upside's there, and I think the Packers will be better. They're better already because he's on their team.
Right.
In the end, I think it's a good pick for them.
And trivial fact that nobody might care about, it's already been issued on Packers.com that he's going to wear number 53. So you'll see 52 on one side, 53 on the other,
Yeah.
going after the quarterback. So, Aaron, looks like our time is just about done for this video. Any closing comments you want to make? Or
Not much. We'll just keep pumping out videos. We'll do some round 2 information here, about halfway done. I'll probably come back and talk about the Packers pick and what happened in round 2. That's all I got.
Very cool. For Aaron Wagner, I'm Brandon Rooker signing off. You guys have a great night.